Alright, so over the past few months, I've been picking up a boatload of sneakers, and truthfully, I just don't have the bandwidth to make my usual individual reviews on each pair. I take a lot of pride in making those videos short and concise, while also being as informative as I can. So unless I'm really motivated, they do take a lot of time to make each video. More and more, I've been experimenting with other video formats, such as pickup videos, and I think this one that I'm making right now could be a good one in that it's a compilation of all the stuff that I've grabbed recently, but you may not have seen them featured on the channel quite yet. So after these 3 boxes are literally unboxed, I'll toss in various unboxing clips that I have of all of my pickups dating back to summer of 2020, I think, with a timestamp on each one, obviously, so you can see how absurd these purchases have actually been. Also, some motivation for this video is that I'm realizing my collection is getting super out of hand now, and I'm at over 100 pairs. I'm just one person, and I've been working from home over the past few months, so I'm literally only flexing on myself, since I'm only wearing shoes indoors, and to me that makes no sense at all. It's essentially hoarding at this point, and I figured this could be a good way to show things off before selling them. If you follow me on Instagram at StuffDylanLikes, I'm usually quick to post pickups as they come in, way before I make these YouTube videos. On that Instagram tip, I've also started a selling page at StuffDylanSells, you see, very clever there, and on there I'll toss things up for sale hopefully soon. I've gone on the record in previous videos slandering resellers, so you may think me starting a sales page is a bit ironic, but I'll tell you the difference. It isn't my full-time job to be selling sneakers. I'm a collector by nature and will continue to collect for as long as I can. But it gets to a point where you can't keep everything, hence me wanting to make a video like this to sell some stuff off so that at least it's featured on the channel before I make room for new things that I'll like even more. Anyway, that's enough rambling for now. Let's dig into these 3 boxes, and after these 3, I'll put in some cohesive whole and add some voiceover commentary to my other pickups. Hope you guys enjoy, and make sure to drop a like on the video, and subscribe if you found it interesting. Alright, so we've entered voiceover mode here. I've scrubbed each clip to be around like 45 seconds. If I go over, I'll extend it, but 45 seconds tentatively. Combine it by all these sneakers that I've picked up. It's over 20 minutes, so hope you guys enjoy. So this specific pair is a Yeezy 500. I got this one off of GOAT, as you can see right there. This is my first time buying off GOAT, so I was actually pretty interested to see how it'd turn out. You hear all these horror stories off of buying from StockX and GOAT, but this one was shockingly decent. And the reason why I bought these off GOAT is because they had accepted my offer. I put in a super lowball offer for these 500 stones, a brand new pair, and it was only a few bucks over retail. I've been trying to get a 500 for ages now, so this is a great starter. So this next pair I bought off of a seller on Poshmark. I always refer to Poshmark as a great place to buy and sell things. I'd be super hesitant if you're new to sort of buying on the secondary market because there are a lot of fakes floating around there, so you just gotta know what to look out for. In this case, it's a pair of Jordan 1s from 2010, which is a crazy tale to think. No one was wearing Jordan 1s back then, so they're pretty easy to be had. This pair was like a $110 box price, and I've seen video reviews of people grabbing these for sale like way back in the day. This specific pair is like in the velvet brown colorway, which isn't something that was appealing back then, but today, in this day and age, it's something that Travis Scott really holds near and dear, is those earthy tones. So this is definitely a fitting pickup for today, and if you wouldn't know, people could probably expect this colorway to come out nowadays. So the last pair of these October 12th pickups, I guess, is one that comes from eBay. So it's a pair of Dunks, and if you're a regular channel, you'll know I've been picking up a bunch of Dunks recently. It's nice to have all of these Dunks, but the good thing to note is that I'm not overpaying for any of them. The box price on here is $125 back in 2015 when they came out, and I got them for way under that now in 2020. These are pre-owned like the Jordan 1s, I'm not sure if I mentioned that previously, but both are worn so lightly, probably like 2-3 times max. And this one's unique because I love the color blocking on it. It's like the black and then that cork material, but I love the way the black just sits at the toe box, like right around the toe there. It's really cool look, and I think it's unique to have sort of that cork material on there. It's so uncommon, and you wouldn't find it on sneakers. So for the next few pickups, I'm actually recording this audio weeks after I had created this video. I had a few pickups come in over the past few weeks that I wanted to sprinkle in here, so figured this is a great opportunity to get back on the mic. So the dating on these next few pairs are going to be out of order, so the best way to keep up is with the timestamps that I'm dropping in. So this first pair is the Air Jordan 4 Retro PSG, and truthfully it's a sneaker that at first I didn't really care too much for, but you know, after having them in hand, I'm glad that I scooped them up. So I got them straight from Nike. It was one of the few sneakers apps hits that I hit on this year, and you know, I can't complain. The quality on it's pretty nice, although I don't have really a basis of 4s to judge these on because it's my second pair, behind my Air Jordan 4 Union collab that you'll see later on in this video. 225 is a high ask, but you know, the PSG partnership that Jordan has is a cool sort of thing they have going, so in my eyes this is definitely a collector's item. I'm not a fan of the football team, I don't really watch soccer at all, so it's more so an item that I'll wear. So following that is another Nike pickup, literally came in the day before this PSG pair, and it's a pair of the Retro 11 Low in the Concord-Bred colorway. And truthfully, on release back in I think June, it was a sneaker I didn't give a second look at, and even to this day I don't really care for it. It was one of those things that I grabbed, I was at the right place at the right time on the Nike app, not the sneakers app, but the Nike app. They were doing a shock restock that, you know, we've been seeing Nike do for the past few months now. It was one of those things where I was there, I just hit buy now, and it went through my order process and everything. So, I know Nike's been sitting on a bunch of stock on a bunch of recent Air Jordan retro releases, or any sort of Nike sportswear seemingly hyped releases. They've been sitting on a lot of stock because people have just been seeing them brick in the resale market, and have just been returning their money to, you know, recoup it instead of losing money on the resale market. So, I mean, I don't really know what I'm going to do with these. I tried selling them on eBay and it was really close, but the guy ended up being a scammer, so luckily I was able to catch it and, you know, didn't send it out. So I'm sitting on this pair. If you want to trade for it, hit me up. If you want to buy it, hit me up. Otherwise, I mean, they're going to sit on ice and we'll see what happens to them. This next pickup I'm actually super glad to have. So for context, I love the Adidas ZX line, particularly the retro ones, so the ones from the 80s or late 80s, mid to late 80s. You know, the ZX is such a niche shoe. It's more so popular in like Europe and, you know, countries within there. Not so much here in the US, but they've been reviving it over the past year or so. And this A through ZX pack that they've been doing has been seemingly a hit. This specific one is their collab with Lego, the L signifying the L letter as part of that alphabet series. And this collab goes crazy. The colors, the attention to detail as far as like the extras goes, like the laces and the lace dubres is awesome. At first, I couldn't grab this pair. It sold out essentially everywhere. It seems the hype beasts were on it. For those that didn't even like the ZX or don't even know about ZXs, I mean, they scooped them all up. But luckily, I was at the right place at the right time again. I was scrolling on Instagram and saw Packer did a restock on them. Not a restock, but they dropped them after the intended day that they were supposed to release, so super happy to get these for retail. They're not reselling for so much, so if you want them, you could totally find a pair for like 20 bucks over their $130 retail price. This next one was sort of an impulse buy, so it's a pair of Nike SB Blazer Lows, but it's a Supreme collab. So I always find these Supreme collab Nikes to be either hit or miss, and out of recent years, a miss for most of them, and I think this one was maybe one of those. So these came back in 2016 and came out in tandem with two other colorways. This specific one is like in a watermelon pinkish red colorway that they call Desert Bloom. I'm not crazy on blazers. I recently sold off my Nike Sportswear pair of silt red ones, so I felt like I needed a blazer in the collection. And this just popped up on eBay for a pretty decent deal. It's partially in tune too because I missed out on the Supreme collabed Nike Air Max Pluses, and it's going to be a great segue into this next pickup, which is the Nike Air Max Tailwind 4 Supreme collabed pair. So the Air Max Tailwind 4 is a retro runner that I love. I have a video of one already on the channel and it's been getting decent views. I think it's because people have been running into them in discount shops and just want to learn more about it. And this Supreme collab is sort of that next level up. The model itself is bricked, obviously, like you see a bunch of colorways sitting in like Burlington Coat Factories and Marshalls. And the retail price on those is pretty high at $160. So this Supreme collab pair went for I think $180 or $190, which is, you know, a hefty premium to pay, but you're paying for that Supreme nameplate. It's kind of a flex piece if you like the model, the Air Max Tailwind 4, but otherwise nobody will bat an eye to these just because, you know, they're an Air Max Tailwind 4. I think people are going to spend their money elsewhere. So if you like them, cool, like me, and if you don't, then, you know, pass on them. So this next pickup is a big one for me because it's essentially a grail sneaker. It's one of those SBs that I remember from high school, and I always told myself that I'd try to go back and get them. And the right deal came along and was able to scoop up a pair dead stock from 2011. So this pair is obviously a blue box release back in those early 2010 days when SB was sort of at its pinnacle, in my opinion, because that's when I came up in high school and was getting into sneakers. There are a lot of details to know about the sneakers, so I'll save it all for the review video. But as far as me finding them, I found them on Grailed for a really good price. Obviously I lowballed. That's sort of been the name of the game for me. And I know resellers get mad at that, but it's whatever, because at the end of the day, they're trying to make their money too. Just stay tuned for the review. These are sick. I already have it sort of drafted up. I just gotta get around to filming it and doing the whole shebang. So this next pickup is actually a clip of the sneakers, and the reason is because I didn't grab them in the mail. I actually went down in store and got these. So I made a trip down to New Brunswick, New Jersey, home of my alma mater, Rutgers University, and more specifically this consignment shop out of there called Limited Supply. So I actually went down there on a rescue mission to take out a pair of sneakers that were on consignment, not mine, but my old roommate Will. Will, shout out to you if you're watching this far. Essentially, he had a pair of Yeezys on consignment down there for about a year or so, and they didn't notify him of the sale, and they mentioned that it was still in store. So I went down there to go grab them for him, and essentially they had sold. I don't know how they do business there, but apparently they had sold and they hadn't cashed them out. So I mean, kind of sketch, but I mean, we'll see how that turns out. Don't want to talk too badly about them. But while I was down there, I figured take a look at their inventory, and they had this pair of pre-owned copper Foamposites from 2010 for $75, which I think is a great deal. They're kind of cooked as far as the soles go. They were once an icy bottom, but now they've yellowed, obviously, since they're 10 years old. But the overall condition is actually pretty good. The uppers are in great condition, no peeling or anything. Same thing at the black suede and nubuck parts. Traction's all there, no heel drag or anything. It's really just the yellowed sole, so I know I can make them nice. I might make a video on that, but got those copper foams. Hopefully they could straighten my boy out and, get him his money. So this next pair here too is another set of dunks. This one even older than the previous Cork pair. This one is from 2007. So this is actually a Nike Sportswear dunk. And it's one that, I'll be honest, I didn't even know about. Half these sneakers that I come across at good deals are sneakers I've never heard of or require some research. So this specific pair, the seller went crazy with the bubble wrap in like this absurdly large box, but hey, I mean, I guess if the protection's there, it's cool. But it came in an orange box, so if you guys are familiar with Nike Sportswear, it was a recent thing where Nike Sportswear was Nike Sportswear. Before that, it was just, orange generic Nike boxes. And this pair is a pair of the Dunk Highs in this Azure colorway and sale. It's definitely fitting for the times of like 2007 when people were wearing Argyle print, so I'm not really sure if I'd wear these, but I got them for a good deal, so if anything I could just flip them, I guess. Let's see, alrighty, so this next pair is another, I don't know if I mentioned, these things are moving so fast, I'm literally watching the video as I'm recording this, but I got the last pair of dunks on Mercari. I got this current pickup off of Mercari as well. Again, super good deal. I think this one turned out to be like $40 shipped, which is crazy. It's a red Nike Sportswear box. Again, these sellers are doing great with the bubble wrap. This one's an Air Max 1 Premium from like 2018, so it was a GR, but it had a box price of $130. And if you check it out, it's this all over suede in this Bordeaux colorway. Super premium, super luxe. I'm actually surprised at the quality on it. I wouldn't say it's quite at New Balance quality, but hey, for the price I paid and sort of the end result, is a great grab. So here's another clip of just sneakers, because these are ones that I grabbed via a local meetup. So this is a pair of Grails, another Grail pair of dunks. It seems to be the theme, at least in 2020, of my pickups. It's a pair of the Tiffany Dunk Highs, or rather the Diamond Supply Co. collab with Nike SB. So these obviously came out in the low form in the early 2000s, I think 2005, during that pink box era. And this is sort of the reboot in the high version. I know I'll never get my hands on a pair of lows just for what they go for in the resale market, and just the condition of worn pairs is just beat. So these highs will do. There are a bunch floating around, you just gotta find the right deal. I came across this deal on Grailed, actually, and the guy lived not too far out from me, so we made a trip down to central New Jersey to grab these. So Here's another one, another Nike Sportswear pickup. This one, we're gonna revert back to dunks here. I actually also grabbed this one on Mercari, man. Shout out Mercari. The sellers on there, if you lowball them right, you're destined to come across some good deals. So this specific pair is a Nike Sportswear dunk. This one's from 2011. If you check out that brown cardboard box, man, that just takes me back to high school. All of the sportswear shoes were coming in this box. But in any case, this one is a dunk from 2011, I want to say. It came out in a pack of a few different sportswear dunks. This one is like a burgundy denim color, but it's not really denim. I don't know how to describe it, but they came pretty cooked on the bottom. It was at 100% stars, but the soles were pretty dirty. And I knew how to clean them. I got them for like $35 shipped, so a lot of times it takes some deal hunting, and you got to know what to do. So I guess in this case, I literally just scrubbed the crap out of them, and they turned out looking fresher than ever. I'm definitely going to hang on to these for a bit, but who knows, I also might flip them. You might see them on Instagram, so stay tuned. So here's a big one. I'm surprised I haven't made the video on these yet, but it is a pair of the Jordan Union 4s, and I was actually surprised to get these on release day. No, I don't use a bot. I never desired to use a bot. This is a manual cop. This is probably the biggest manual cop I've ever made in my entire life. I got these straight from Union on release day back in September, and I'm just surprised I did. I had no interest in them. I listened to the Complex Sneakers podcast a lot, and the guy Chris Gibbs that owns Union mentioned that these were more available than the Jordan ones. So I mean, I figured I'd throw my hat in the ring, and look at that, I ended up with the pair that I wanted. At the time making this, the other pairs are still slated to come out on sneakers, so hopefully I could grab another pair, but also who knows. Not sure what to do with this pair. Resale is it's gonna shoot up because this colorway is specific to Union only, so it's not coming out on sneakers, so it was sort of a first come first serve and last chance sort of deal. So I do love the idea of owning $1,000 sneaker on the resale market, but $1,000 just sounds very appealing to have in my bank account. We're gonna have to see what I do with these. So this next pair is a pair of Air Max 1s. Man, I love Air Max 1s. Those are probably my favorite retro Nike runner. This specific pair, I caught it on sale a few times from the Nike app or the Nike store, I guess. And I never pulled the trigger on it because I didn't think it was worth more than like $100 if I'm being honest. So I came across this pair secondhand. It was worn maybe twice for like 40 bucks. Again, like I come across these deals like crazy, so it makes it hard to resist. But I shouldn't be picking up as many sneakers as I do, and as I'm watching this video continue, it's crazy. But this one's cool. It's sort of like a crossover between a Huarache and an Air Max 1. That whole pack was inspired by the two sneakers sort of morphing into one pack. I'll cover it in the video review, but these are definitely cool. Especially heading into, or when I bought them in the summer, the last few days, it was great, but really not going to get so much wear now in the fall winter seasons. So this next pair is interesting because I'm never really picking up recent performance basketball sneakers, but in the case of this one, I had to just based off of the colorway and the overall storytelling. So this is a Nike Kyrie 5 as part of that whole SpongeBob pack that Nike collabed on with Nickelodeon, or should I say Kyrie collabed on. This one's awesome because I didn't really like Kyrie Irving, but since he moved to the Nets and, you know, I listened to a lot of podcasts he's been featured on, he's actually a really misunderstood dude. And I'm not a bandwagon Nets fan, by the way. Like, I've been a Nets fan since they were in New Jersey. I mean, I live in New Jersey, so born and bred. And I also love SpongeBob. I have like this SpongeBob, or I have this Patrick Star Universal Studios plush like at my desk. So this was a very fitting pickup. I don't know when I'm gonna wear them, but it's just a cool piece to have in the collection. I'll probably never part ways with this pair. So we have another dunk pair, and watching this now, like, this dude put a lot of tape on here. It might have been the post office, because you can't get that priority mail tape anywhere. But this one was an impulse buy. I remember where I was when I bought these. I was in the driveway of my girlfriend's house. I saw these come up on eBay, because I get these, like, save search notifications. And these were to be had at a good price. It's shocking what these GR SB dunks are going for recently, and I got this one a little over retail. It was worn maybe a few times, but for the price compared to the market, like, I'd easily get my money back, if not more. And they're the Horizon Green, or like the Jade Horizons. I don't even remember what the official colorway was on these, but these are awesome. It's a color that I don't have of anything in my sneakers in the collection, so. I also don't have that many Dunk Lows either. So this was a good grab. I'm not sure if I'm going to hang on to them, but either way, I'm sort of glad that I have them, and I should probably make the video soon. This is raw and uncut, by the way, so everything that I'm saying is just first reaction in watching these unboxing videos. So this one, oh, this one's another Dunk. Dude, I've been going crazy with these Dunk purchases. Like, the Dunk just brings me back. This specific one is a Nike Sportswear one. It's a very recent one. Oh, and this dude gave me a free shirt. I remember that. It doesn't fit me, but it was a nice gesture nonetheless. I got these off of Poshmark secondhand. Super good price on these as well. It's a recent GR Dunk. If you couldn't tell, it's the light bone. So I have a Jordan 1, the Nike SB NYC to Paris one that uses the light bone color. It looks very similar to this. This specific colorway, I just came across it for a good deal, and it's like all these other ones in the past, I just couldn't say no. I googled the style code and I saw this on foot picture, and the dude that was wearing them made them look super cool, so I'm just like, I guess I could get down with these. Again, these are sort of dirt magnets just given the color and the suede material, so I'm not sure if I'm going to hang on to them for too long, but we'll see. What's this one? Oh, this one is a good one. So, wow, this is August 8th. I came across this one on eBay for like a really, really good price. Well, I don't think it was a really, really good price. I think I lowballed the guy to get it to be a really good price. In the description somewhere, it said that they had recovered these, or I guess gotten these from an estate sale. So the guy that was selling these wasn't too savvy as far as, you know, sneaker double boxing and sort of security of the package, but it's alright. These aren't really much of a collector's item. This sneaker is more so to be worn. It's a pair of Dunk Mids, SB Dunk Mids in the Golden Hops colorway. So like the Jade Horizon Low that I picked up a few minutes ago, this didn't have a backstory to it either, although some speculated it had some tie to beer, which you could totally say. But yeah, this one's gonna be great for the fall. I'm definitely gonna wear it throughout the fall, and who knows, maybe I'll part ways with it come the new year. So this next pickup is yet another Dunk. The Dunk purchases don't stop. And if you guys want a quick tip on how to pick up Dunks, I suggest downloading and just creating accounts for all these different buying and selling apps and just create, you know, some saved searches and check pretty often. It's pretty dangerous because people do post things for pretty good prices. You just gotta act fast. And on the flip side too, there are some people that are hardballers, so if you lowball and you piss them off, that's part of the game, but sometimes people accept, and that was the case with this Momofuku Dunk. The resale value on these sort of differs and depends on the seller and the person buying it, but in my case, I think I paid a pretty fair price. Shout out to the guy on Grill, they got them to me super fast. Yeah, these are a cool shoe. I actually have the whole script written on them. I don't know why I haven't filmed it yet. I should probably work on that at some point soon because this is a really cool sneaker to wear, especially like the darkness of it. The backstory and stuff will be covered in the review, by the way. Another Dunk purchase, another one off of Grailed. Man, I've been going crazy with these Dunks. This is all unfiltered. I'm not sure if I even said that. I might have said that in the last one, but in any case, these are crazy because these are literally one of my SB Grails, and I'm surprised I haven't made the video on them yet. I think I'm just too scared to wear them out. So these are dead stock from whenever it was, I think 2010 or 2011 might have been, somewhere around there, but these are the SB Dunk Highs, and they're known as the Resns or the Gucci's because they look like the colors of Gucci. So the seller on Grailed had them listed for a pretty steep price, talked them down for a bit. I definitely overpaid looking back on it because I see some secondhand pairs going for around 200 bucks, which is more tolerable. But in this case, you know, I think nostalgia sort of took over as it does with a lot of my sneaker purchases, and it just brought me back to a time in high school that, you know, that's the whole point of this sneaker stuff to me. Shifting gears here a little bit, I think a common trend with my sneaker purchases, I get super into something and I buy loads of them before moving on to the next thing. So here I'm sort of backtracking, so this is going back to July now, and all the videos, or I guess all the unboxing clips have been going back. This specific pair is a New Balance 998. So this pair I came across for super cheap secondhand, again, worn a few times. I cleaned them up, they look nice now sitting in the box, but this is a pair that I know people were finding in Marshalls and those Rosses and like all these discount stores. So I didn't get an incredibly good deal, but a deal nonetheless. They're a pair of the New Balance 998 made in USA pony hairs. I'm typically not a fan of all black sneakers, but in this case I found that, you know, runners and the way that you wear them, it doesn't really matter the color. I like the pant roll to them, so this black one would be perfect like in the winter with black chinos, for example. I guess that's the way I saw myself wearing them. I'm probably gonna move these at some point because I have so many predominantly black sneakers I'd wear ahead of them, but you know, I can't say no to a good deal on made in USA New Balances.
And then following that trend, I think this is part of like impulsive birthday purchases now. We're getting into around my birthday in July. I got these two off of End Clothing. They were doing a pretty good promo, and they're both silhouettes that I didn't have, with the first one being the Made in England 1500 in this South Beach colorway, and then the other one being the 991 in this pastel blue. So both sneakers are super cool, super comfortable. I haven't worn either of them out yet, and as I'm recording this, it's October 12th, so I sort of missed my shot, at least with the 1500s. Those are definitely a a summer shoe. But the 991s are definitely going to be great for these colder months. I think that pastel blue and the black is a great combo. Sort of a sneaker that could be worn in any situation, or any season rather, because they're bright enough but also dark enough, if that makes sense. You could see the New Balance progression here. I really had a New Balance phase in July, it seems. So July 17th was the day before my birthday, so I was actually glad these came in before my birthday. This specific pair is super rare. I remember the marketing material coming out back in early 2020. This is a US 1 of 1 V1 that, you know, there's only one colorway, or there's only one 9.5 in this colorway. And, you know, in that sense, it's super unique. I sort of dictate the market on this. The guy that sold it to me let him go for like a super steal, a little bit over retail, and retail is 120, so you could probably piece the price that I paid for these together. I think that'll eventually be a good video to post, but I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it, especially since it's such a unique sneaker. There's definitely knowledge that could be shared on my end if I post on YouTube, but I guess I just want to admire them for myself before I share it on the internet, as weird as that sounds. Reverting back to the Dunk purchases, so this one, I normally wouldn't buy Dunks without the boxes unless it's a good price, and I'd say I paid a fair price on this. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's a Dunk that I don't particularly remember, but I love the weirdness of it. I actually already filmed the video and it's ready to upload, so I don't even know why I'm including this. I think this video might go live before it. I guess that's why I put it in. But it's a pair of the raw meat Dunks. They're pretty cool, pretty unique. I don't know when I'd wear them because I have a lot of red, predominantly red Nike sneakers that I'd wear before these, but hey man, I love a Dunk, I love a unique sneaker, and this is that. Next up, we have this pair of Asics Gel Kayano 5s. So this is my first pair of Asics ever, which is kind of crazy, especially considering how much I love retro runners. You know, New Balance has been sort of my go-to as far as retro runners, with, you know, the sprinkles of Adidas and the Nikes of the world, but never an Asics. And I think the reason is because I never really had a tie to Asics. I remember in high school people were picking up like the Ronnie Fieg Asics, but I don't think I knew much about them, which is why, you know, it never lasted, or it made a lasting impact on me. So this specific one, it was part of this eBay sale that the Asics official page was doing. These I was able to score for 20 bucks, so I figured why not give these a shot and see if they could sell me into the brand. Shifting gears, I'm a huge fan of the Adidas' ZX line. I'm glad they're doing this A through ZX collection in 2020 as we speak. There are a lot of cool ones to be had. I haven't purchased one yet. I'm waiting for them to hit clearance racks because here in the States, no one's buying the ZXs. I'm eyeing the pair of the ZX 10,000 Overkills, unrelated to the A through ZX collection. Those Game Overkills came out in 2019. I'm seeing them for a good price on GOAT. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger. I actually might do that after I'm done recording this video, but who knows. This specific pair is a ZX 4000 OG. It's one of the OG colorways from the late 80s that that Adidas remastered. And you know, it's pretty interesting because I got these for 11 bucks plus $7 shipping on Poshmark, so they came out to sub $20 and they were worn maybe like twice. The buyer had bought them from End Clothing, you could tell by the box sticker. And man, I think these are going to be beaters. I always say all these cheap sneakers that I get are beaters, but I end up keeping them pristine, so I think that I'll make these beaters at some point in my life. It just hasn't been now because I got these in July and it's October. I haven't worn them more than twice. Oops. So we're doing a little weird time warp here. So this one is July 2nd. I mentioned this because I have two pairs of these and you're gonna see within the next minute or so. It's a pair of the Air Jordan 13 Retro and the CP3 PE, the Hornets away colorway. So I rage copped this shoe because I wanted a pair of 13s. I wanted the Flints because I have a vivid memory of them in high school when they were released back in 2010. I struck out, didn't feel like paying resale because they're like $190 retail and people were asking like over $200 at the time. So I'm like, what 13 can I go back and buy? And this was it. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Chris Paul fan, but I love the aqua color on here. Jason Kidd was always my point guard growing up, and Chris Paul was sort of a threat in that sense that he was really good, and it's shocking that he's still playing to this day. I mean, even following these 2020 bubble playoffs, he's been playing incredibly. So I'm surprised that the value on his sneakers or any CP3 PE related sneaker hasn't gone up in value. I have one of these listed on various selling platforms for like $200. Box price on these back in 2015 was like $200. I'm getting a lot of likes, but no one's biting, but that's just me being stingy. I obviously bought both of these for less than $200. I think I paid like $100 for the second pair, and they're like immaculate. So I should part ways with one and make my money back, but also I like the idea of owning two of them. That's sneaker logic, I guess. What is this next one? July 1st. Oh, this one is interesting because the price on Kobe sneakers has been absurdly high recently. And now that Nike's coming out with all these Protro Kobe 5s, etc., it's great because all of these older ones are sort of easier to be had, if that makes sense. The Kobe 1 is my favorite Nike Kobe model. 5 and the 6 are close seconds. But this is a pair of sneakers that when I was playing travel basketball as a kid, I wanted so badly, but was never able to get because it was so expensive. But now in 2020, you know, the whole Kobe thing, you know, rest in peace, is so tragic. But it's crazy that people have been capitalizing on selling his sneakers. I got these for a really good deal. I got them for $70 and they're OGs from 2006, which is crazy to believe. I know Nike sort of retroed them back in, I think, 2018, but no one was buying them, which is interesting because now people that had them stashed away are selling them for upwards of $200-300. So I'm glad to have these. They're wearable. I'm shocked that they are. So gonna pull these out at some point, but for now they've just been sitting in the stacks since I bought them. So now we're rapidly approaching these last few. This one is a New Balance 998, so I guess shifting back to New Balance gears. The New Balance videos on my channel for some reason do really great. I think it's because people are getting into the brand, and you know, I've been doing New Balance videos for the last few years now, so it's always nice to go back and grab one. This specific one has been on my radar for a really long time, and I'm shocked I grabbed them when I did. I bought these back in June with the intent of wearing them around now, which is October. It's because they're in the brown curry or this brown sugar colorway that I guess New Balance is calling them as well. This was, at the time, my first 998, so I was super stoked on them, and I loved the color. I came across them at some point on, I want to say, Hibbett Sports back in the day for super cheap, and I never pulled the trigger. So I went back and tracked them down for less than $100, which is great. And I guess this next pickup came in on the same day. You guys may have seen my Russell Westbrook video, or the Russell Westbrook PE Jordan 1 video. The completionist in me, the sneaker completionist in me, wants to complete the set, but at the same time, it's just so hard to come across these sneakers from back in the day. Back in the day, meaning 2015. But I found this pair of the Blake Griffin ones from the same pack. These were worn. They actually, I was kind of disappointed. They were more worn than what the pictures made them seem. If I didn't pay such a good price on them, I probably would have bugged out and requested a refund, but you know, I paid a really good price on these. These are probably going to be beaters too, but I always say that, and I find a way to clean them up and keep them clean, so fingers crossed. But this is the Blake Griffin PE once again, if I haven't mentioned it, and I gotta say, it looks exactly like the Carmine Jordan 1, so wouldn't be the first red, white, and black Jordan or Nike sneaker I'm grabbing from my collection, but just a nice one to have. So this one, I guess, is a week or two before. It's another dunk. Nike dunks are just what I've been picking up. So if you don't like the dunk content, the dunk videos on my channel don't do well, which is fine. I don't think anyone, they're really just for me and to show them off to the internet, or to, you know, spread some knowledge to, because there are a lot of interesting backstories behind them. And this one in particular is inspired by Steel Reserve. It's the malt liquor, most notably known for like the 40s. They're super unique, super shiny, super bright. They look a lot like the cold pizzas or the Tin Mans. Again, don't know when and where these. I think they'd be great designated rain shoes, just given the material and the brightness of them. Kind of looks like aluminum foil, so I'll definitely pull them out in the rain. Not sure if there's any resale value there, but I'm definitely certain that I could flip them for more than what I got them for, and that's sort of my logic when I'm buying all these sneakers. So this next one is sort of a consolation prize to what I actually want. The pair that I picked up here that I'm unboxing is the Nike SB Dunk High in the Guinness colorway, so it's like all black, has hits of gold and like not a sail, but an off-white. So the pair that I really want is the black and tan lows, but the prices on those are absurdly expensive. So I figured this was the next best thing. I love Guinness. It's like a top 5 beer of mine. I was out in Ireland pre-pandemic, checked out the factory, it was awesome. So these are definitely more of a fall winter shoe. I'd even say they're rain shoes too because they're all leather, but these were in super good condition. The seller threw in the Supreme Ball because I slightly overpaid for shipping, so he compensated that way, which is great. And then the last sneaker of the bunch is a super old one. I bought these around the same time I bought my LeBron Air Force 1 Low PEs from 2003. This Air Force 1 is from 2006. It's heavily yellowed. It's pretty worn. It's all patent leather, so it doesn't really look the best. I probably won't make a video on them just because of the condition these are in. These are more so just to have in the stacks. It's a Rasheed Wallace PE Air Force 1 Low. Rasheed Wallace was like one of the few NBA players at the time playing in Air Force 1 still. It sort of became his sneaker. And, you know, this sneaker I remember seeing as a kid, which is why I went back and grabbed it. It's hard to find them in great condition for a good price nowadays, so I don't mind this worn one. I kind of like the vintage look. It seems to be a trend nowadays that people want their shoes to look aged, and, you know, this is it. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I think this covers all of the sneakers that you haven't seen on the channel yet. I'm sure you've probably seen most of them on the collection video that I made a few months ago when I hit 3,000 subscribers. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Stay tuned for more content. Follow me on both of my Instagram pages at StuffDylanLikes, at StuffDylanSells. And you know, I'll be here for more content, so stay tuned and thanks for watching.